Well, while we're waiting for our paint to dry on the body, let's go through our parts bin and see if we have all the parts that we're going to need to restore this Bruiser. It's been a while, and a lot of these parts were sent out to a powder coater. We have the railings for each side here. So we've got an extra grill. We finished painting the other one, the one that we're going to use, but this is an extra that was left over from previous builds. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, okay, so we're not going to use the servo saver stuff, but we'll certainly need that. We've got license plates. It's got a couple of license plates there. That'll come in handy. And we've got some rubber grommets here that I doubt we'll end up using, but it's nice to know we have them. Probably find a way to get those back in the bag there. Okay, what else do we have here? Some of this stuff aside. We've got headlights. So headlights will come in handy, obviously. And we've got the chrome pieces for the tail lights, and awesome. Glad I saved these things instead of just tossing them or selling them. What do we got here? Oh, okay, so here we have the leaf springs and the axles. So you know we're going to need these things. It looks like these seem to need some cleaning up though. So we'll put those in a bath. Same with these parts. We'll put these parts in the bath. All the shackles. There's a steering rod. Looks like a steering rod in there. Here we have some stays and some more rubber grommets. So what we got here? Yeah. Okay, so we got some bottom braces. Okay, so this front plate, the skid plate, we might have to clean up, dissolve, or take out, strip the black paint off of that. And we've got some gears. And looks like the shifter linkage for the tranny. Don't know if we'll need these or not, but we'll have to keep going down the parts. Put those aside. Oh, the rear louver, but we already had one on our truck when we started painting it. Side view mirror. Probably want to put that in the truck. Here we've got some front and rear bumpers. These have never been painted. The front bumpers have been painted though. They've been painted black. Maybe we'll use that and keep that as a primer. The paint looks like it's still in good shape, and just paint it gunmetal gray, just paint over it. I don't know, maybe we'll strip it. It's not hard to strip the plastic. We'll just dump this in that motor oil and it'll be done. Can also use Easy Off. Rear bumper. Again, it's painted black. Might have to strip the paint. So what I'm thinking maybe is, I saw these aluminum bumpers on eBay made by a Chinese company. Maybe we'll just do that and go. I mean, it's not going to be all retro anyway. I mean, all original anyway. So maybe we might cough up a little bit of money for the aluminum bumpers. But anyway, so we have these. That's a plus. We want to go that route. What else have we got here? Put some of this stuff aside. Oh, okay. So here's some more of the chassis. And this is cool. Didn't realize I had sent out a skid plate to get powder coated, so looks like we've got all the parts we need for the chassis, and it's already, every piece is already powder coated, so that's nice. That should be good put together. And here's the front body mount and joining pieces that have been, looks like they've been powder coated black. Shock stands, I mean the shock, the shock goes into here. These hold the shock onto the chassis. So these have been powder coated black. So these are in nice shape. Looks like we're going to have a pretty nice chassis. Got some, oh, the shocks. The shocks look great. They just need a little bit of cleaning up. They're a little bit oily. All the boots are intact. Don't look like they have a lot of wear on them. So we'll clean up this little oily mess, but yeah, they're pretty shiny. So that's a huge plus. What else have we got in here? We're missing some, obviously, missing some key pieces so far. The drive shaft, double face, tape, some screws, shackle. Yeah, here we go. What's in here? All right. We've got used headlights, another license plate. Nice. We've got the amber and the already painted the rear light lenses. Good thing I saved these old parts. Might as well put this guy in there. The side mirror. Okay, so that's good. Got some of the little detail. Let's see what else we got. Nice. So the braces have been powder coated as well. So that's beautiful. Wow, it's been such a long time that I've looked at this stuff. I had put it aside. I had gotten this old Bruiser that was a total mess and started cleaning it up and just never got around to putting it together again. Look at that, original motor. Wow, that is a big heavy motor. What else do we got here? Coming down to the bottom of the barrel, and the nice transmission case for it. Oh my gosh, it even has the rubber plugs. They look like aftermarket plugs. They're too new looking to be original. But there used to also be silicone. I remember cleaning this up. There used to be a lot of silicone around these. You know, this is a multi-piece unit that gets put together. And you put silicone on it to, you know, waterproof it. So this doesn't look bad at all. Yeah, nice. Okay. So I don't think there's much left in this box here. Got more powder coated chassis brace, and what a mess this is. Okay, so we're gonna have to clean this up for sure. Got the axles, so looks like I saved all the pieces and none of them have disappeared that are going to be needed to rebuild this truck. More shocks, leaf springs, shackles, lots of screws. We won't be using the old screws, we'll be using Allen head screws. we'll probably paint this. We'll need that for the body. So, well, that's all the parts. That's it. But it looks like we have everything we need to put this thing together. So let me put some of these parts in a nice bath and get them all cleaned up, and heck, let's start building this chassis while the paint's drying on the body, and make some progress. So stay tuned. Okay, so I thought I'd show you how I clean some of the small metal parts, especially the grimy parts. The ones that we had separated out, I put into these are full of oil and grease and everything. I put them into a plastic bag like this. This is an ultrasonic cleaner. It's a little cheap ultrasonic cleaner. I fill it with distilled water. I don't use tap water. And normally, you know, you would use a straining basket, you know, and put your parts. You never want to put your parts in the ultrasonic cleaner and have it touch the bottom. Not that it's going to damage anything, but it'll wear the transducers on the ultrasonic cleaner, and it'll just ultimately just shorten its lifespan. So you put them in a strainer so they don't touch the bottom. But I don't necessarily go through all of that. I do use the strainer, but what'll happen is as the rust, grease, and everything gets eaten off these parts, it'll settle on the bottom of the tank, and then you have to clean this tank every so often, and then the solution that you put in it, you know, gets tainted as well. So what I usually do is I like to use mean green as the solution, and rather than just putting it straight into the ultrasonic cleaner there, that aside so it doesn't spill, I will put the solution in the plastic bag and make sure it covers everything. And this is a Ziploc bag. Okay, so that's my cleaning solution. A little bit more. And then I just seal the bag up. Okay. I'm going to put this back in so it doesn't. All right. So then that's my cleaning solution that's in there. I could probably just put it into the tank, but so now I put, so long as the water in the tank is at the same level as the water in the cleaning solution. I think I got just a little too much distilled water in the tank here, so let me pump some of this stuff, some of that water out real quick. That should be enough. What I should have done is put this in first and then poured the water over it, and instead of having the water in the tank beforehand, but I figured I knew what I was doing. All right, so now that's it's in there. The water level's around the same as the water level, the solution level inside the plastic bag. So now we can start this up here. So we're going to set this for 100, and it's at 180 right now. And we'll set it for That's 4 minutes. So let's see how we do with, we'll just keep an eye on it. We're not probably going to use the entire time. So even though this stuff is in a plastic bag, the ultrasonic waves still flow through the plastic. So I usually, if I only have a couple of parts or whatever, I'll even put it into a small little glass, a little glass jar. People seem to say that, you know, the waves travel better through glass than they do through plastic, but I mean, it's such a small thing that it really doesn't matter. But the nice thing about this, like I said before, is all the sediment and everything will just drop into that bag, and then I can just dump the solution or filter it out and still keep some of it. But at least I don't have to worry about the tank being constantly dirty or constantly cleaning the tank of all the sediment that settles in it. So you can see the bag is bubbling, there's bubbles here, and that means this stuff is working and starting to take off some of that grime and grease. So I'll come back in a few and pull it out and see what we have as a result. All right, so we're coming down to the last few seconds here. And let's see what these parts look like. So normally I would go over a sink and drop this and then use the sifter here, you know, to sift out all the residue, but for the sake of time here, let's just take a few of these out and see what they look like. Look at that. Shiny. Shiny, shiny, shiny. The leaf springs, perfect. I'm rubbing my hands on them and I just cannot feel any dirt at all. No grease, no oils, no grime. This is sweet. So that's the small parts, the small metal parts, and that's how you get them clean. I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment though. It's been a while since I've actually used this. This ultrasonic bath here, this ultrasonic cleaner really is very small obviously, but the reason I have it is for my 3D resin printer, because the prints that I do in the 3D resin printer are very small, so this meets that need. So it's rare that I've ever really used it for the small metal parts that I have here. It's only on occasion. But what I haven't cleaned with it yet is plastic parts. So let's do it before and after. Let me get some of the bad looking plastic parts that I pulled out of this salvage, out of this spare parts bin here, and let's do a little before and after and see what happens with ultrasonic cleaner and plastic parts. So let me get these out of here, let me get to the plastic parts, and let's have ourselves a little experiment. All right, so got a few seconds left here. Let's see how this worked out. What I do notice is, okay, so the part's clean. This yellowing's just part of the makeup of the plastic, what's happened to it over time. But what I'm thinking is this cleans the parts, it gets the oil and dirt off of them pretty decently, but I don't know. I think that the oven cleaner might just do a little bit of a better job. I'm not convinced. Maybe because the parts are kind of yellowed, And I'm going to also show you how to unyellow the parts using peroxide. But it's a process called retrobrighting. I do that on the Commodore computers I restore. But for the most part, though, the parts are clean of grime and oil. So I can't say that this was not successful, because it did do the job. I'm just not convinced that it's I don't know. I wish I would have thought about this sooner and just taken half the parts and done half of them in an easy off oven cleaner, because I can show you parts that I did with easy off and they look really clean and everything, but they didn't have this yellowing already on it, on the plastic that these already have. So what we can do, though, is I will show you a method of getting this yellow off of this plastic. It doesn't work for all plastics, but you know, that'll be in one of my next segments here of this restoration that we're doing. So yeah, well, the ultrasonic, the bottom line is it does clean the plastic. It does take the grease and oil off of it. These, you saw before how grimy these things were. They're not grimy anymore. So obviously it did what it's supposed to do. So give it a thumbs up for this as well. Plastic and metal. There you go. So stay tuned. Let me show you how we can get this yellow stuff off. If we can. I don't know. I haven't tried it on this kind of plastic. I've tried it on, like I said, on the Commodore 64s that I've restored. So we'll just experiment and see if we can get the yellow out. That's really what I should have said, out of these parts, and bring them back to life a little bit more. Stay tuned.